Hi, so what's good, guys? I'm back again. I got to hit you up with a front double bicep before we start, as the logo suggests. We're back again, brand update, uh, and I haven't updated you guys in a while, so I thought I'd come on today to give you guys an update. And as soon as I started talking, what's happened? The sun started shining. So that could only be a good thing. It's kind of drowning me out now, the lighting, but that could only be a good thing, right? The sun's shining in the UK at this time of the year. It's almost the middle of January. I hope everyone's having a great start to their new year and sticking to that new year resolution, right? I hope you are. So, where we're at with the brand is I've got a lot of updates for you, and one being that I don't know if you guys remember when I first started off the brand, and when this has been it's been a dream of mine, and it still is the ultimate dream for the brand to make the brand authentically British, to make it in the UK. Now, little did I know, you live and learn, and you learn in this industry, this new business venture of mine. You learn. That's the biggest thing, right? I think it doesn't matter how much advice you get from people. The best way I find to learn sometimes is to go out and do it yourself. And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, but that's how you learn. You learn from your mistakes. And in my quest to make the brand authentically British, doing all my research and driving from pillar to post from West London to as far as Nottingham, to driving to places like Leicester, trips and trips, speaking to potential manufacturers in those sort of areas. In the end, I wasted a lot of money doing that, traveling up and down the UK, trying to find an authentic manufacturer, in the UK, to stick to the whole ethos behind the brand, the whole, the whole idea behind the brand, to make everything in the UK authentically British. Now, like I said, that is still a long-term goal. I will not venture away from that, and I know it will happen. But for now, it's just not going to happen. For a startup brand like myself, the UK just doesn't accommodate someone like myself. It's been inherently difficult to do that. I didn't realise how difficult it would have been. I've had to look elsewhere, and I had to look abroad. I'm not going to substitute on quality. The quality is still going to be as good as it was if it's been made in the UK. But unless I have, 100,000 or 200,000 pounds put away, or I've got investors investing into the brand or the company, it is almost near impossible for a startup brand like myself to start manufacturing here in the UK. Let me tell you why. One of the reasons is, and this is a frank conversation I had with a potential manufacturer here in the UK. I think he was based in Milton Keynes. And I explained exactly what I wanted to do, and he came at me straight, and I like that. I prefer people to be straight with me. He came at me straight and said, "Listen, the way our machineries are set up, the way it's done, or to make certain types of clothing or whatever it may be, jackets or whatever they make, the machines that they have are set up a certain way to deal with the fabric that they're using to make whatever clothes that they're making, right? So you get to something like Black Stakes, or you get to the sort of clothing that I want made, which has elastane in it. A lot of the clothing that t-shirts and whatnot has to have that bit of elastane or stretchy type fabric in the fabric itself. The machine then has to be reset or recalibrated, or whatever you want to call it, to accommodate making the sort of garments or items or t-shirts that I would want made. Now, in order for them to do that, they bring an engineer in who will reset the machine to make the clothing as I require to, or to deal with the fabric that I'm using to make the clothing that I want made. And that cost of having an engineer come in to recalibrate the machine or reset the machine comes back to me. So in actual fact, it's not cost effective for me to do this in the UK. That's just one of the reasons. That's just one of the many reasons. So unless you have your own production, your own setup almost to make your own stuff, and that's obviously with investors or having at least, I say, a minimum of say £100,000 or more put aside. I'm talking a bare minimum here. You can't really, as a startup brand like myself, it's difficult to do anything like this in the UK. We've essentially lost all of our manufacturing to places like Turkey, places like China, Pakistan, Korea. All of these industries you look at the top clothing brands in the UK, they're not making, and there's a reason now, I understand fully why they don't make in the UK. Because we haven't got that manufacturing infrastructure anymore for brands like myself, for clothing brands especially, and even the bigger brands, the top brand that you think of a top British clothing brand, they're not making their stuff here in the UK. And these are multi-million pound companies who are not making their stuff here in the UK. It's more cost effective for them to do it abroad. So the industry in the UK, I think, it hurts me to say, in many ways, it's kind of dead. It's kind of dead, and it needs, the government probably needs to look at, whoever needs to look at this and inject money back into UK manufacturing to get this thing going again. But I can't see it happening. The way things are, we don't know where we are now with the likes of Brexit and everything else. People are having to make drastic changes to accommodate whatever Brexit means. I think that's right down on the scale of things to do for the government. Manufacturing is probably right down at the bottom for us. So hence why everyone's going abroad. Now that hurts me to the core. That really does, because like I said, I still essentially plan to do my stuff here in the UK one day, but that will have to come later on down the line, and that's where we are at the minute. We're hoping to launch on another subject. We're hoping to launch very soon, and we're hoping to launch hopefully by the end of the month. But you're dependent on our manufacturers getting the goods to you. Everything behind the line stays the same. The quality behind it has to be the same, regardless of where it's being manufactured. And that's where we are, So I hope you guys understand. I really do, and it's been difficult for me to accept that this change. But the reality is, if I want to put the line out there, if I want to continue creating the brand Blacksthetics, then I have to do it the way I have to do it for now, and eventually revert back to how I initially planned to do it. So yeah, I hope you guys understand that, and I hope you you stay the course with the brand, and there isn't much else I could say on that. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'll do another video soon. I'm hoping that the launch date is by the end of the month. So you guys have been patient enough. Those of you guys who subscribe to my videos, please click the subscribe button. Wait for further updates. I'm also be getting ready for competition again this year. So I'm going to be juggling a lot of balls this year, 2019. I intend to compete as well. So let's see how that goes. Let's see if I'm able to do that. Working full time, running a business, trying to compete as well is not easy. So let's see how that goes. But for now, please stay tuned. Please press that subscribe button. Remember Blacksthetics, clothing line, apparel. Tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe to the page if you can. Every little helps as we grow the brand, as we continue to grow the brand. Be part of my journey. Be part of the legacy. That's Blacksthetics. For now, speak to you guys soon. Peace.